Where were you before you were born?
The question, "Where were you before you were born?" has intrigued philosophers, theologians, and curious minds for millennia. It touches on the nature of existence, consciousness, and the mysterious beginnings of life. This question not only challenges our understanding of life and death but also compels us to explore the deeper aspects of identity, soul, and the continuity of existence. From a philosophical standpoint, this question is deeply connected to the concept of non-existence and the nature of consciousness. Before birth, one could argue, there was simply nothing. No consciousness, no awareness, no identity. This view aligns with materialist philosophy, which posits that consciousness arises from the physical processes within the brain. Before these processes begin, there is no self to speak of, just as there will be no self after they cease at death. However, other philosophical traditions offer different interpretations. For example, in Platonic thought, the soul is considered eternal, existing before birth and continuing after death. According to this view, before we were born, our souls existed in a different realm, possibly a world of forms or ideals. Birth, then, is seen as a transition, a passage from one state of existence to another. Religious and spiritual traditions also grapple with the question of pre-birth existence. In many Eastern philosophies, such as Hinduism and Buddhism, the concept of reincarnation suggests that the soul undergoes a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Before birth, the soul was in another body, living another life, accumulating karma that influences its future existence. This belief implies that our current life is just one chapter in a much longer story, with our pre-birth state being a continuation of past lives. In contrast, many Western religions, including Christianity and Islam, tend to emphasize the creation of the soul at the moment of conception or birth. Before this divine act, the soul did not exist. This view places the origin of individual consciousness firmly within the boundaries of divine will, suggesting that life begins as a unique creation, distinct from any prior existence. Science approaches the question of pre-birth existence from a biological and evolutionary perspective. According to the principles of biology, individual life begins at conception when the genetic material from two parents combines to form a new organism. Before this moment, there is no individual consciousness or identity. Life is seen as a continuous chain of biological processes, and consciousness is an emergent property of the brain's development. While science does not address the metaphysical aspects of existence, it provides a framework for understanding the physical origins of life. The question of where you were before you were born is, from a scientific viewpoint, a non-question because you, as a conscious being, did not exist before the necessary biological conditions were met. On a psychological level, the question touches on the nature of identity and the self. Before birth, there was no self-concept, no memory, and no awareness. Our sense of identity is shaped by our experiences, memories, and interactions with the world, all of which begin after birth. Thus, asking where you were before you were born can be seen as a way of exploring the origins of the self, how we come to develop a sense of I, and what it means to be a conscious being. Conclusion: an invitation to contemplation. The question, "Where were you before you were born?" serves as a profound invitation to explore the nature of existence. It challenges us to consider not just where we come from, but what we are and how we relate to the larger universe. Whether approached from a philosophical, theological, scientific, or psychological perspective, this question remains one of the most intriguing mysteries of human existence. It reminds us that life is a journey filled with unknowns, and that our understanding of self and existence is always evolving. Thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe.